Welcome to Everyday English in Canada. This is a space created especially for you who want to improve your English in a practical, simple, and engaging way. Here, every video comes with subtitles so that you can listen, follow along with the reading, and train your understanding. If you've made it this far, you're already taking an important step, diving into English every day, the kind of English that will transform your life. Before we begin our story, let me invite you. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And don't forget, every comment you leave here, whether it's a word, a phrase, or even a question, will be an opportunity to practice and improve your English. By writing, you practice. By reading comments, you learn even more. Together, we're going to create a community that grows in English every single day. Now, to show you how this journey is possible, I want to tell you a story. A story that could also be your story, or maybe the story of someone you know. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Rafael. He was born and raised in Brazil, in a small town full of friends, family nearby, and that warm atmosphere that only Brazil has. From a young age, Rafael had a dream, to live in another country, to learn a new language, and to discover the world. But, as it happens with many people, that dream seemed far away. Life followed its normal rhythm: school, work, responsibilities. And yet, Rafael never stopped feeling that desire deep inside. He always listened to music in English, watched movies with subtitles, and imagined himself one day understanding everything without the need for translation. More than that, he wanted the experience of living in a country where English was spoken every single day. That's how, after much planning, research, and also courage, Rafael made a decision. He would go to Canada. The country seemed perfect, safe, full of opportunities, and above all, bilingual, with English as the main language in many regions. For him, it would be the right place to begin a new chapter in life. The farewell in Brazil was emotional. Family and friends gathered. Some cried, others smiled with pride. Rafael knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to face the challenges. With his suitcase packed not only with clothes but also with dreams, he boarded a plane to Canada. When he arrived, everything felt new. The air was different, the streets were different, the way people acted was different. But what stood out the most was the language. Everything was in English. The signs, the notices, the conversations around him. And that's when he realized the English he thought he knew wasn't enough. At the supermarket, he struggled to understand the labels. At work, he had difficulty following some instructions. On the bus, if someone started a conversation, he got nervous, trying to find the right words. And at night, when he lay down to rest, his mind filled with questions. Will I really be able to learn? Will I adapt? Those questions echoed in his mind, but along with them came determination. Rafael knew that learning English wouldn't happen overnight, but that every day would be a new chance. He started building a routine, listening to English podcasts on his way to work, watching videos with subtitles, repeating phrases out loud, even if it was alone in his room. And you know what happened? Little by little, Rafael began to notice small victories. One day, he managed to order food at a restaurant without repeating himself several times. Another day, he was able to help a coworker by explaining something simple in English. And when he realized he had understood an entire conversation on the bus without translating it in his head, he felt an overwhelming joy. But the most important thing was when Rafael discovered that he didn't have to learn alone. He began joining study groups, making friends with people from other countries who were also learning English, and most importantly, he started leaving comments with words and phrases on English learning channels on YouTube. Every comment was practice. Every interaction was another step forward, and this is where you come in, the one listening to this story right now. This channel, Everyday English in Canada, exists for exactly that reason, so that you, just like Rafael, can have the chance to practice English every day in an accessible way. The subtitles are here to help you. The narration is here to guide you. And the comments section is here for you to express yourself. Think about it. If you write just one word a day or a phrase you've learned, in a short time you'll already have a much bigger vocabulary. If you share this video with someone, you'll be helping not only yourself but also another person to learn. And if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be committing to your own progress. Back to Rafael's story. The months went by, and with them, his English began to change. In the beginning, he spoke slowly, with insecurity, but over time he started to feel more confident, to understand expressions, to think in English before speaking. He realized that every effort, no matter how small, was worth it. There were funny moments, too, like the day he ordered chips, expecting French fries, but received a bag of potato chips instead, or when he tried to say he was embarrassed to mean he was ashamed, and his Canadian friends laughed, explaining that the word in English actually meant something quite different. Every mistake turned into a lesson, and every laugh was a reminder that making mistakes is part of the process. Rafael understood that learning English wasn't just about memorizing words. It was about living experiences. It was about listening, speaking, laughing, making mistakes, and trying again. It was about having the courage to express himself, even if it wasn't perfect. And over time, he realized something even deeper. English wasn't just a language. It was a key that opened doors, that allowed him to make friends, to understand cultures, to grow professionally, and to connect with the world. And that is the message we want to leave with this video. English can transform your life, just as it transformed Rafael's. And you can start right now by following the content here on this channel, practicing every day, commenting, interacting, and, most importantly, believing in yourself. Rafael's story didn't end there. Quite the opposite. Those first months in Canada were just the beginning of a journey of transformation. The more he practiced his English, the more opportunities began to appear. At first, Rafael worked in a simple restaurant, washing dishes, helping in the kitchen, and sometimes serving a customer. It was an honest and dignified job, but he knew he could achieve more. He dreamed of working in something that truly matched his skills and the plans he had made for the future. The problem was always the same: English. Many of the job openings he found required good communication, interviews in English, and even written tests. In the beginning, it seemed impossible, but Rafael didn't give up. He remembered each small victory and believed that with effort, he could get there. It was during this time that he decided to become even more disciplined. Every day after work, he dedicated at least an hour to studying. He read simple articles online, wrote down new words, watched videos with English subtitles, and repeated phrases out loud. He also began talking more with his Canadian co-workers, without fear of making mistakes. At first, his conversations were short and full of pauses, but over time, fluency began to come, and with it, confidence. One day, during a break at the restaurant, a regular customer started a conversation with Rafael. He was a kind man, the owner of a small local business. They talked about Brazil, about traditional foods, and in the middle of the conversation, the man asked, "Do you like working here?" Rafael answered with a sincere smile. "Yes, I do, but I want to learn more English and work in something different in the future." The customer was impressed with Rafael's determination. A few days later, he returned to the restaurant and handed him a business card. "When your English gets better, call me. I might have a job for you." Rafael kept that card like a treasure. It felt like a sign that his efforts were not in vain. The months went by, and Rafael stayed committed. He left comments on English learning videos on YouTube, wrote small sentences every day, and practiced dialogues alone in front of the mirror. Each week, he noticed progress. He not only understood more but was also able to express himself better. Until the day came when he felt ready to call the number on the card. His heart was racing, his hands were sweating, but he took a deep breath and made the call. "Hello, this is Rafael. We met at the restaurant some months ago. I'm calling because you told me you might have a job when my English was better." On the other end of the line, the man smiled. He remembered Rafael. He scheduled an interview for the following week. The interview was both a challenge and a victory. Rafael walked into the room nervous but determined. He introduced himself, talked about his experiences in Brazil, shared about his time living in Canada, and showed his willingness to learn. His English still wasn't perfect, but it was clear, understandable, and full of confidence. At the end of the interview, he heard the words he had been longing for. "Congratulations, Rafael." The job is yours. Rafael could hardly believe it. That moment felt like a milestone in his life. The effort, the late nights of studying, the mistakes turned into lessons. Everything had been worth it. The new job wasn't just better financially. It also required more communication, more interaction with clients and coworkers. That pushed Rafael's learning even further. Now, he was immersed in English every single day, in real situations, learning not only words and phrases but also expressions, accents, and even local slang. In the beginning, there were exhausting days when it felt like his mind couldn't take in any more information. But Rafael always remembered one thing. Every day of practice was another brick in the building of a solid future. And little by little his English stopped being an obstacle and became a bridge to new friendships, new opportunities, and new dreams. Over time, Rafael began to join community events, to travel to other Canadian cities, and even to help other immigrants who were just arriving. He knew exactly what it felt like not to understand anything, to feel lost in a new culture. That's why he reached out and said, "Don't be afraid. I was like you, but you can learn." That attitude made him respected and appreciated, not only as a good professional, but also as someone willing to share and support others. But perhaps the most emotional moment was when Rafael received a phone call from his mother back in Brazil. During the conversation, she said with emotion, "My son, I watched a video of you speaking in English. I didn't understand everything, but I felt so proud. You're conquering the world." Rafael smiled and answered in Portuguese, with tears in his eyes. "Mom, all of this was only possible because I never gave up, and because I found simple ways to learn every single day. And that is exactly what this channel, Everyday English in Canada, wants to show you. That learning English is not a distant dream. It is something you can achieve step by step with daily dedication. Just like Rafael, you can transform your life through English. Here, every video with subtitles is an opportunity to practice. Every narration is a chance to listen and repeat. Every comment is a seed planted in your learning. That's why, once again, I remind you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Share it with your friends, because the more people practice, the stronger our community will be. And most importantly, write in the comments. Write a new word you learned today. Write a simple sentence. Even share how your day went. It may seem small, but believe me, that's how great achievements begin. Today, Rafael continues living in Canada. He grew professionally, made new friendships, and above all, became fluent in English. But he never forgot the beginning of the journey, when he could barely order something at the supermarket. For him, every victory has a special taste because it came with effort and persistence. And the truth is, his story could be your story too. You don't need to leave your country to begin. You can start right here, right now. English is within your reach, and we are here to walk this journey with you. So, if you haven't done it yet, take this moment, like this video, subscribe to Everyday English in Canada, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends. And don't forget, leave a comment, write a new word you learned today, write a simple sentence, even say how your day was. Every comment is one more step forward in your journey. Remember, learning English doesn't happen overnight, but every day counts. Just as Rafael took the first step, you can take yours right now. This channel is here to walk with you. Welcome once again to Everyday English in Canada. This is your opportunity to write a new chapter in your life. Just as Rafael did, you too can turn your dreams into reality.